Welcome. Today, we're diving into the impact of TSE and BSE regulations on gelatin and collagen-based products. We'll explore how these rules shape the industry, influence safety standards, and affect product development. I'm Dr. S.K. Singh, and together, we'll unpack the challenges and opportunities in this important area. Let's get started. Let's start by understanding the basics of TSE and BSE. Transmissible spongiform encephalopathies, or TSEs, are fatal brain disorders caused by misfolded prion proteins. One well-known example is bovine spongiform encephalopathy, or BSE, often called mad cow disease, which affects cattle. The big concern for us is that these prions can potentially pass to humans through contaminated animal products, leading to serious diseases like variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. That's why it's important to focus on materials like gelatin and collagen, which often come from bovine bones and hides, as well as porcine and fish sources. Let's take a closer look at gelatin and collagen, two key ingredients in many pharmaceutical products. Gelatin is widely used in hard and soft capsules, tablet coatings, plasma expanders, and even hemostatic sponges that help control bleeding. Collagen, on the other hand, plays a vital role in wound dressings, tissue engineering, bone graft substitutes, injectable fillers, and regenerative medicine. But there's a catch. Since both come from animal sources, there's a regulatory concern about potential transmission risks of diseases like TSE or BSE. This makes safety and sourcing critical. When it comes to managing the risk of TSE transmission, minimizing that risk is absolutely critical. We do this through a few key strategies: source control, process control, thorough documentation, and full traceability. These elements work together to keep everything transparent and safe. Around the world, major regulatory authorities have laid out clear requirements to guide us. From the EMA's TSE guideline to the FDA's Animal-Derived Material Guidance and the WHO's Risk Management Framework, each plays a vital role. Together, they form a global regulatory framework that helps us maintain the highest standards. When we talk about risk in tissues used for gelatin and collagen, it helps to split them into low-risk and high-risk categories. Low-risk tissues include hides, skin, bones, though bones require controlled processing, and milk derivatives. On the other hand, high-risk tissues are brain, spinal cord, eyes, and tonsils. The country of origin also plays a key role, especially considering BSE status, which can significantly affect risk levels. For example, bovine sources carry higher concern, sheep and goat moderate, porcine lower, and fish are generally negligible. These factors together shape how we assess safety. When it comes to gelatin and collagen, the EMA sets clear requirements to keep things safe. First, the source animals have to come from countries with either negligible or controlled BSE risk. And if it's the latter, there needs to be solid justification. Then, certain high-risk materials like brain, spinal cord, skull, and vertebral column must be completely excluded from production. Finally, thorough documentation is essential, including declarations on TSE and BSE, certificates of origin, TSEBSE certificates, and full traceability records. This ensures safety from start to finish. Let's look at how manufacturing controls help reduce risk, especially when dealing with complex materials. The process involves several key steps, starting with raw material selection, then moving through degreasing, acid and alkaline treatments, extraction, filtration, sterilization, and finally drying. From a regulatory standpoint, each of these steps plays a role in theoretically lowering prion infectivity. The most critical control points include where we source materials, how we validate each process, qualifying suppliers, and keeping thorough documentation. These controls work together to manage risk effectively. Let's break down how we calculate the risk score for a gelatin supplier. We start by adding up individual scores from different risk factors, like the source of the bovine material, the country's BSE status, and certifications. In this example, the total risk score comes to 9. That places the supplier in the medium risk category, meaning we should keep a closer eye on them with additional monitoring. This simple formula helps us make informed decisions quickly and consistently. Let's walk through an example of how we calculate supplier documentation compliance. Here, the supplier needs to provide 15 documents. They've submitted 14. To find the compliance percentage, we divide the available documents by the required ones, then multiply by 100. That gives us 93.3% compliance. This means the supplier is mostly compliant, but since one document is missing, we need to close that gap before giving final approval. When we look at the impact on product development, there's a lot more involved than usual. We need to qualify suppliers carefully, assess risks with technical support, review regulations, and evaluate how traceable materials are. This brings challenges, fewer supplier options, higher costs for qualification, more paperwork, and longer approval times. But it's worth it. These efforts lead to better patient safety, smoother acceptance across global markets, and clearer, more transparent supply chains. It's a tougher path, but a smarter one. When submitting a product for approval, there are several key documents we typically include. These start with the TSEBSE certificate and the TSE declaration, which address safety and compliance. We also provide detailed information about the source animal and the manufacturing process itself. In the Common Technical Document, or CTD, specific modules cover critical details, like the source of the active pharmaceutical ingredient in Module 32S, and excipient information in Module 32P. We also include a risk assessment annex focused on TSE and BSE evaluation, along with supplier documents to prove qualification. All these pieces come together to support product registration and ensure regulatory requirements are met. When regulations aren't fully met, the consequences can be serious. We're talking warning letters, delays in product approvals, and even questions from regulators that slow everything down. Suppliers might get disqualified, too. On the right, you see common issues that trigger these risks: missing certificates, unclear sourcing, incomplete audits, and weak change controls. Each one represents a gap that can lead to compliance problems or audit findings. Understanding these risks helps us stay ahead and keep everything running smoothly. Let's explore the shift toward alternative materials and their impact on the market. We're seeing a move away from traditional animal-based capsules, with options like HPMC and Pullulan gaining traction. On the collagen front, marine sources, recombinant techniques, and synthetic biomaterials are becoming popular. This shift reflects a growing preference for animal-free, vegan-friendly products that also help reduce regulatory risks. It's a clear sign that the industry is evolving to meet new consumer values and compliance demands. Let's look at a case study involving a soft gelatin capsule manufacturer. The company was sourcing bovine gelatin from several suppliers. During an audit, they found one supplier didn't have a current TSEBSE. The country of origin had changed without any notification, and the updated TSE declaration was missing. To fix this, they conducted a supplier audit, obtained a new TSEBSE, strengthened change control, and started annual TSE reviews. As a result, regulatory compliance was restored, and the supplier was retained after successful remediation. To wrap up, these key references guide much of our work, from the European Medicines Agency to the World Health Organization and the FDA, among others. Looking ahead, the future points toward marine-derived materials, recombinant collagen, and animal-free pharmaceutical excipients. When it comes to TSE and BSE regulations, they have a big impact on sourcing, supplier qualification, product registration, and compliance. Staying effective means thorough scientific risk assessments, strong supplier partnerships, TSEBSE certification, full traceability, and solid GMP systems. Thank you for joining us today. If you need any further support or have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help. Thanks again for your time and attention. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you.